bill the best she could. Yes, when we talk to the vendor about the chair, we must act like we don't want it. But you do want it. I adjusted my grip on the shopping basket I had brought with me. As of yet, I hadn't added anything to it. Truth be told, I hadn't come to the flea market this day to shop. I was looking for someone. She clicked her tongue. Millie Fisher, you would be the world's worst gambler. Considering I am a 67-year-old Amish woman, I choose to take that as a compliment. She shook her head. Just know I won't be taking you on my next trip to the Roxino in Cleveland. You would completely ruin my luck. I patted the prayer cap on the top of my snow-white hair. I thought you gave up gambling after you pushed your fourth husband into that hotel swimming pool. I took a break, yes, after that little incident. She finished smoothing the bill and tucked it into the pocket of her teal jacket. However, in this life, one should always be willing to take a chance and roll the dice. She grinned. That sounds like one of the Amish proverbs you recite all the time, doesn't it? It doesn't, I shook my head. Not at all. She winked at me, not the least bit offended by my remark. I wished I could be as easygoing as Lois, but on this special errand, that was impossible. I turned back to the vendor she had pointed out. She grabbed my arm and spun me in the other direction. Don't look at him. If you do, he will know we're interested in buying something from him. I sighed and smoothed the sleeve of my plain green dress. Do I have to remind you that you were pointing at him a moment ago? Even shopping with Lois was an adventure. Besides, why do you want that chair? It's orange, I said. It doesn't go with a single item in your house. She laughed. Nothing in my house matches, and that's just how I like it. That was the truth. Since I might have trouble acting cool, why don't you speak to the man about the chair, and I will keep looking for Ben, I said. Finding Ben was the real reason we were at the Harvest Village flea market. I had been worried about the young man, and because I was the only one in the village, if not the state, who knew him well, I felt responsible to make sure he was all right. Good deal, Lois said. By the time you find Ben, I will have that chair in my possession for half of what it's worth. Why don't we meet at the livestock judging area? I would like to know how the goats are getting on for my grandnephew Micah, I said. Lois laughed. Sounds like a plan. But I don't need to see the judging to know that Philip and Peter are wreaking havoc for Micah and all the judges. I grimaced but didn't correct her. Philip and Peter were challenging goats. In this case, Lois was probably right. She strolled over to the man with the chair, and I shook my head. I knew she would come away with the chair. I only hoped that she didn't come away with a new husband, too. Lois had a talent for collecting those as well. With Lois occupied, I continued my search of the flea market for Ben Baughman. Ben was a 19-year-old Amish man who had recently moved to Holmes County from Michigan. I had known him since he was a child, because he came from the same community in which I had lived for 10 years while taking care of my invalid sister. Ben had been a nearby neighbor in Michigan, and a thoughtful one, too. He was goot to both my sister and me, and he came over as often as he could to help me with the chores. He never let me pay him, and I was grateful for it. Taking care of my sister Harriet had been meaningful but hard work. A few months ago, after my sister's death, I moved back to Holmes County, Ohio, where I'd grown up. To be honest, I didn't expect to see Ben again, as I had no desire ever to return to my sister's community, and I could see no reason why he would come to Ohio. However, a month ago, I received a letter from Ben. He said that he was planning to move to Holmes County so that he could find work in a larger Amish district.